I got my swarm capture. I upgraded them to an 8-frame hive, and I put a super on to give them a little room because there were so many bees in there. And that's kind of a mistake. I should have pulled them down when they were still in a nuke, but my nuke was full of comb that was drawn all wanky in the wrong place. So when I put them on frames with rubber bands, I put them in the 8-frame because it seemed like it was easier at the time, but now I'm kind of regretting it. Anyway, I was going to come out last night and try to pick it up and slide it down one ladder, but it was like 50, 60 pounds and too much for me to be able to manage, and it was dark, and I just had this mental image of a serious issue coming up. So I got another idea, and I'm going to try to lower it by rope using a taller ladder, and I got a strap tight down around it and staples all through it to hold it together. So I'm going to take you with me on this, and we'll see how this works out. Okay, I got the rope that I'm going to lower it with tied around it. I've added extra staples, just regular Stanley staples. I got like 10 per hive component. And I'm going to add a tag line so when I lower it over the edge of this tree stand that it doesn't go swinging wildly and beat into trees and stuff. So I got some control. And here I go to wide cam, which I probably should have done to start novice video YouTuber here. But anyway, there's my tree stand. It's like 17 feet up in the air. That's a 17-foot ladder up the stand because I don't really trust it. And then I have a 23-foot ladder with a rope with 2 loops at the top to add some resistance when I start lowering it, because it weighs 50, 60 pounds. For those of you all don't know me, I was a fireman for 30 years, and one of our training scenarios was lowering yourself, and 3 wraps would be more than enough to handle a 200-pound man and have some control over an object. So I went with 2 since it was lighter. I didn't want too much resistance. Anyway, we're going to see how all this goes. Okay, so here I am on the ladder. I got my tag line secured on the bottom down here, so to stop it from swinging into something. And this is kind of dicey, this part. It's where I'd lift this up and kind of gently suspend it off to the side. So I'm going to turn the camera back off and pause the video, and then I'll pick it up in a second when I go to the ground to lower it. Okay, so I managed to get it off with no great issues. You know, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm like 220, 6'1", you know, fireman for 30 years, still in pretty good shape. So I wouldn't recommend this for anybody who can't handle, 60 pounds with just your upper body weight, because, as you can see, the rope is hanging way down. I originally had like 3 foot of slack in it, so, it's stretched out another foot or 2 coming down, taking out the looseness in the line. But anyway, I got this far with little to no issues. The tag line worked real good. It kept me from really screwing up, I'm sure. Because when it came off, I couldn't really hold on to it the whole distance from the ladder out to the hive. So right now these girls are suspended. They're being really patient. I had like a dozen or 20 on the outside. I put this robbing screen on because part of my problem was they had no supplies. So anyway, here's my clove hitch with the safety for all my firefighting buddies. And here we go. I'm gonna switch this to the side image. I've ordered a tripod for my cell phone, but I haven't gotten it yet. And Let's see how to, all right, so 2 loops was apparently a bit much. I got the end of this line. It's real slow going down, so what I think I'm gonna have to do here is climb up, holding onto this line. So me doing this and a camera at the same time is not gonna really be safe. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it again, and next time you'll see me, I'll have this thing in the wheelbarrow and hopefully taking it over to my main apiary. Okay, so I got them down safely. They're in the wheelbarrow. It wasn't perfectly centered, so I had to swing it in just a little bit as I lowered it. You know, the ones hanging out on the screen are still hanging out on the screen. And they hadn't been a real problem. I had some curious buzzing earlier in the process. All my staples held. They were just regular Stanley staples, but I got numerous ones all around. So I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of fun popping those out later. Not. Anyway, when I get them set up in the apiary, I'll bring y'all back in. Okay, so here we are at my apiary. I call this my little bee garden. There's my bench where me and the bees like to sit. Well, I sit with the bees and drink a cold beer. Here's where the 2 initial hives that started it all. I just had one give me a serious headbutt. Anyway, I got newer hives on this end, and there's the one that was in the tree stand. I'm getting ready to add this top feeder to it. I'm gonna leave them shut in there for 2 or 3 days. You know, they'll have plenty of water and nectar. Problem I had, and this hive is really light for the size of it, is they had no stores. I had to cut up their comb a few weeks ago to get them into frames where I could get some organization with it. And when in that process, they had a bunch of nectar stored, and I had to take that and I open fed basically. I got a spot like 75, 80 feet away from here that I usually put it out, and apparently they didn't get enough of it back. So, and they, you know, they were all starting to get into a little bit of a frenzy mode then, and we started getting some blooms on the mimosa trees, and they went right back to collecting pollen and nectar. But anyway, that's the happy ending, hopefully, for this hive. And next thing, I'll be setting up another bait hive up there in the tree stand. We're gonna try it again.